Oh, look, we have access to more food now. We can have access to these resources now. How strange. Ah, the food supply is low. Yeah, food's suddenly very low, and I may need to do an emergency evolution on one of the hatches. 4490. Okay, yeah, you're old enough to evolve. If there were pips around here, that would solve a lot of problems. Balm lily, that's not food. That's not enough food. Hopefully, by digging out this big section, it's going to make a big difference. Yeah, we're not doing research for a bit, just until we've actually solved the food. Hopefully, by keeping these guys a little bit less occupied, they can actually work a little bit harder on feeding themselves. Like this muckroot just being chilled here, I don't know if it even counts towards our food total, but food going off is a problem. It's a big problem, and we need to solve it. Um, have we researched a stove yet? Because that is a thing I do actually need. We have, okay. So, where are we gonna do this? There's a cool idea that I saw for like a long-term kitchen setup that I really want to do, and I think I see the perfect spot for it. What it basically entails is you build a little thing like that. Are we low on metal? You're low on copper. That's going to be a problem soon. Proceeds to immediately use more copper. Okay. Luckily, there's a whole lot in this section, so if we just let these guys do their thing, this problem will solve itself. These guys keep digging, they're gonna get us that muckroot. One muckroot will feed a dupe for a day. It's perfect. Or about a day. Cool, these guys are gonna need less work for the next 5 minutes. Somebody sweep that, please. You know what, I'm actually gonna neutralize all of the priorities so that if I put something to 6, I know its priority is gonna be 6 for all of them. I don't want any of this multitasking nonsense. Can I not schedule the build? No? Okay. Guess I just gotta wait for that copper. And the copper after that. What if we go for this iron here? So, this cracked ground here has a buried object in it. So that can either be muckroot or some sort of plant seed or a hatch. In 2 of those 3 instances, that is food. Which is why if you are running any challenge, you want strong diggers because they just get you all sorts of food from buried objects. I've seen playthroughs where huge populations have been sustained entirely on that premise. Okay, not getting any more of the goods from that, so we're just gonna do that. Actually, priority 6 on all these plants, just in case it makes a difference at this point. I can't believe I let my food supply get this low and didn't notice. 2,400 calories. I do remember saying that there was a good chance that this was going to be an immediately get myself killed run. Let's be careful about this and digging under the sand and the water and get ourselves to this little patch over here. Like, if nothing else, there's a muckroot there that I want, and all of this work that gets us access to all this other stuff will also just be a happy bonus. What achievements am I getting now? Ah, outdoor renovations floor here. Look at all this muckroot! I've just doubled my food from like 3 blocks. Okay, so this has just turned from an emergency to just an urgent matter, which is fine. Like, these guys can work urgently for a bit, it's fine. Like, what's nice is we have solved some problems long term. The lavatory, sorted. Oxygen, not currently a problem. Carbon dioxide, little concerning, will be less of a concern later on. Building whatever the hell this contraption is going to be, it's a problem for later. But for now, our guys are not dead. What's nice is with these actual room archetypes, they're going to have better moods as well. All this copper is here. Why don't I have access to... Oh. Okay. Okay. I'm shooting myself in the foot in a lot of ways. A lot of times at once right now. Ape, why? Why? You can be wrangled. You don't need to be eaten just yet. That guy, however, absolutely needs to be... You know what, let's first get the kitchen sorted? Is that a thing we can do? Yes, okay. So, yeah, this is going to be very important for later, but for right now, not a problem. Like, that just needs to be there, and it is doing its purpose. None of this can be reached. Why? Okay. See, this is why I didn't dig this all at once, because one of these idiots would have dug all this ground standing on this side and not been able to go this way. They can't jump this. Maybe we don't have a food shortage. Maybe they've just blocked off all the food. Are you digging this up? What are you doing? Uproot? No. No, we do not hurt the meal route. Bad Abe. Cool. So the reason we're doing this pattern like this will become obvious way down the line. But for right now, all that matters is that it exists. Oxygen is polluted oxygen starting to become a problem. Sorry, little guy. Let's just have them shipped off to the farm and send Abe to go and handle that off screen. Focus on what's happening here, folks. No innocent creatures are being harmed in the making of this video. Did they finally grab one of these that needs to go? Yep, that they immediately eat it because these guys are cannibalistic monsters. Probably. What a waste. Oh no, we have it. So, this is going to be a thing we need to be tricky around at some point. So, guys, very high priority. I want all of that stuff not there. 10,000 calories, 3.2 thousand of which is meat. Now we're talking. What it boils down to is temperatures and the presence of various gases. So we want to preserve our food, and there's two factors that affect the decay of food or not. So first is temperature, second is sterility. All these germs in the air and barely breathable polluted oxygen, those are problems. So if we go to the materials overlay and we select gases, all of this gas we don't want. We want it either to have no gas and be a vacuum, or we want chlorine. Or hydrogen actually is also a sterile gas. But if we deconstruct this tile here and wait for someone to rock up and do it, anyone? Check that out. The gas can't get in or out. So what we need, but they can build in this area. So what we want to do is we want to keep our food in there, and at the very least, it'll be sterile. It'll significantly slow down the decay of any food. Now got access to so much more of farmable foods and, you know, just normal foods. This should tide us over for a while we sort our existing projects out a bit more. As soon as this water level's below here, I'm laddering down here because there's a lot down here that I want. So all of these buried objects, there's that muck root there, there's all of this. Always be barbecuing. Food that is meat should always be in barbecue form. That is just how this game works. Do I need to teach someone how to cook? I'm guessing I do, and that lucky sod is going to have to be Abe, I think. Grilling. Otto, you can continue to learn. Actually, no. I want building to happen faster. So let's just slightly increase the skill of building in the area. Oh my god, is that slime lung every... I mean, it doesn't look like a problem, but it is. That's by our food supply or no? Okay. I didn't think that I would be letting out all the bad just by unlocking the area next to it. So yeah, a nice thing with deodorizers, they use almost no electricity and they don't require any other input except every now and then we need to throw out some sand. See, this is the difficulty with only having three of them. They do not get things done very quickly on their own. For now, Abe is cooking this stuff. And that barbecue is going to be in there, which is just completely just unrefrigerated pollution exposure. The food's not going to last long, but luckily they will eat the barbecue first. Okay, I guess we'll go a roundabout route and dig our way down to that muck root. Okay, I guess we'll go a roundabout route and dig our way down to that muck root. Gonna pop that there for now. We need actual refined metal, so we are eventually gonna need smooth hatches because I'm not manually doing any metal that isn't steel for a while. What in the sweet Christmas is that? Okay. Teleporter transmitter, teleporter. Ooh, okay. Does this get us to the other clusters? Let's just do a bit of this. Strategically place them so that we don't have to put as many. And that should improve the distribution of oxygen, which is our real problem. The problem isn't that there's not enough oxygen, it's that it's not getting to where we need it. Now we can throw caution to the wind on this area. I'm a little bit reluctant to dig out that thimble reed. Stuff's pretty rare and we're gonna need it. Actually, we can hang on to that as well. Here's the plan. We're going to just dig our way over here. We're gonna pop another thingy over here, another thingy over here, so that as the air sort of like wafts over, we should catch at least 90% of it. And then when the air is clean, won't have any bad juju in it. But that's gonna have to wait because our food supplies are running low again. How's this going? Screw it, I can actually force this to lower itself by doing a dig here. Nice thing with 3 dupes is carbon dioxide has not been a concern. Like there is so little of it. Like this is all the oxygen. We haven't removed a single bit of carbon dioxide that's been made. Like none of these plants process it. Nothing that we've built gets rid of CO2. Cool. And just like that, I no longer care about how much water is here that we might lose eventually. And we can go down and start continuing with our digging process. And in there will definitely be some more muckroot. Eh? And in there will be more muckroot. And more muckroot. I'm not gonna lie, this makes me nervous, so we're gonna just... so I don't know if this is the best dig to be prioritizing, because of all this iron. So we're just gonna drop from here back to 5. There we go, yeah. Here's fine. Iron, not so much. I mean, I want the iron, don't get me wrong. That's just not where the food is. Oh look, muckroot. What did I tell ya? So my math is almost definitely wrong. So 100 tiles, let's see, -3, 4. Actually, no, this is dead on. So we're going to do that. And this is going to give us room. It's exactly 96 tiles. The air is only going to be able to come through these 2 blocks instead of those 4. In general, everything's going to go according to plan. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to survive off the muck roots that we've been continuing to find here. We're going to just do that completely. We're gonna have these 3 numbskulls run around and do the things I've told them to do. And I'm gonna be very sneaky here and just dig a path up to the abyssal light because we don't want to mess with that. And we don't want to mess with the mealwood there. Right, so we're very quickly building this. Copy our settings over, and pretty soon this will be a second stable, and we can start putting more hatches here. There'll be even more once these digs get done. Build those, please. I say that, but the base is already starting to look a lot better just from this wider gap. Ah, eating the meal lice, that looks so painful. Ugh. Another achievement. What have we done? Good egg. Oh! Our sage hatch egg hatched. Camille, you're being a good egg. Here's what we do. We set this to 6 and it'll automatically wrangle the extras here. Because what we need to do is we need to get these guys laying more eggs. Like way more. Because that is going to become our primary food source. Delivering stone. I imagine I'm going to start wrangling these guys and bringing them over. I love that they're filling it up, but when I said I want this room to be high priority, I actually meant the buildings, guys. The building. So yeah, this room needs to be a maximum of 96 blocks, which means I need them to build out that wall there. That's going to get them wrangling up hatches up here. That's going to get the hatches laying more eggs down here and up here. That's going to get us a more reliable source of meat. And meat that is made just from rocks is an amazing food source, because this is a day's worth of food and it's keeping me right on my heels. The digging is nice. The muckroot that it occasionally yields even more so. Ah! Mealwood seeds. We can't do anything with this because we can't farm. But Camille here has found some muckroot. Hell yes. Okay, so the sage hatchling for some reason hatched out here. Okay, well, you, my friend, are going to be meat. Okay, well, you, my friend, are going to be meat. I am become food. Here's the thing, right? 2 kilos of meat, 3,200 kilocalories. A duplicate eats 1,000 kilocalories in a day. 2 kilos of meat makes 2,000 kilocalories, but if you cook it further, every 1,600, every 3,200 becomes 4,000 kilocalories. So 2 kilograms is enough to feed 4 meals, 4 days of one dupe's food. So yeah, that is huge. Every one of these guys is 4 meals. The downside right now is just we are not hatching the eggs very quickly because the maximum critters in a room is, if the room is 96 tiles, which is what this one's eventually going to be when we patch that hole, is 8 critters. Right now these guys are feeling pretty overcrowded, and that's why we're not getting more of them. What we can do is just be complete barbarians and ignore the conventions of pretty base building. Pop a deodorizer there and then dig out our more room. I need to fix these holes that they keep now making because they're morons. Alright, 7,000 kilocalories. Hell yes, we're ahead on the food. Is auto gonna fall? Nope, okay. I love how they've systematically built around the one block I actually need them to do. And yes, this is now a valid staple. Yes! There we go. But yeah, we're that much closer to now solving that problem and then moving on to the next problem. And that's this game in a nutshell. Like, you run out of problems and then you start giving yourself more ones to solve. Just to give you guys a breakdown of the layout here, right? You can't see much with all this crap on the ground, but we're also not going to solve it anytime soon. Here's this room, but a little cleaner. These storage bins are literally just like chests in Minecraft. We keep stuff in them. The grooming station is what tells the duplicate they need to come here and actually groom and eventually tame these guys, so eventually they start laying eggs. Yeah, it's what tells Camille to come here and brush them and ultimately tame them so they start laying more eggs. This critter drop-off is what tells them, it's basically how you manage the number of critters in a room. The critter feeder, this automatically feeds them, so we don't have to manually feed them. This problem very much solves itself. The downside here is normally you would need to go from whatever storage you have to fill this up because it only stores a tenth as much as these. So with 2 of these guys full, they rock up, they move things from here to here instead of making long trips every time. I would like to get these fish all nicely boxed in a room. Pacus have a short lifespan and a tendency to, like, if you have pacus in your base, you just have a passive food source that just sort of happens. The downside is polluted water, but with these very electrically cheap deodorizers, that's going to be a non-issue. Right, so how is our stats here? 9 in this room, 2 in this room. Guys, this room is capped to 6. Why are we not being better about this? Oh, it also counts the eggs. So you all can just bag these guys. Bag them, move them up here. Alright, now for the fun part. So here's the plan. We're going to core out this whole section and possibly this area as well. All the water is going to make its way into this little area where we will keep for the fish. It'll probably come up to like here, so we'll just actually cordon it off and use it as a section. Clean air, the deodorizer doesn't kill germs, but it cleans the air, and clean air just does not sustain germs. And we're out of food again. Prioritize more, prioritize more digging. I'm gonna find the oldest hatch in the lot. So that was like 59. Yeah, it's gonna have to be that guy. You're gonna feed us for the next day or two, buddy. Sorry. So someone's gonna go and grab that. Yoink. He's gonna go and cook that. Because Abe is good about keeping us all fed. Did he just put it in there and then immediately take it out? Okay, 800 edible calories. There they go. Some weird math happening with the calories, but I assume someone's finding more muckroot. Or restoring access to muckroots. Any variables in here are going to become property of the hapless settlement. Any luck? We'll find some food down here while we're at it. Without any luck, these paku will still eventually provide us meat. But right now, we've got a day and a half's worth of meat thanks to all of our hatches. I'm hoping these guys will hatch a little. Every 6 days, a hatch drops one. I think you need 1.7 hatches to sustain it, but at very low numbers, the space and time in between becomes a problem. And all of these plants growing passively takes 12 days to grow a meal. So we're very touch and go in the food situation right now. Cool. I like that she's prioritizing the ladder to build it because then the water's just coming down. It's gonna make eventually like doing the rest of this way simpler. Why are you guys doing nothing about it? Because you need a floor. Duplicants are such idiots. Also, they not being able to reach this perfectly viable food here is actually a problem. Oh, look at that! They're doing the thing! You're a hatch! Camille's in very real danger of boxing herself in if she's not clever. And she's boxed herself in. Guys, we need that solved. Oh, and she's just made it worse for herself. No, no one's going to... Okay, it's Camille's bedtime now, so... Oh man, he's stressing. He's stressing. Otto, where have you been? So now Camille's stuck in an area with very little oxygen. She's just peed herself. That's gonna contaminate the primary water source again. Oh no, she's under it. Fantastic. Completely trapped. These duplicates are such idiots sometimes. They're so good at boxing themselves into... Really, they put themselves in Mr. Boland's stories, honestly. Whew, we've gotten ourselves a lot of muckroot though. The downside being we are running out of places where we can use this dig for food strat. So we need to get a move on and stabilize the actual food supply that is the hatches. I think a third ranch might be necessary. But I want to get the fish sorted out. Glow bugs emit radiation? This is upsetting. That's gonna be a problem. And oh God, what happened to my food supply? More digging. We are diggers. Bump, ba-dum, bump, bump. More muckroot, please, sir. There we go. Because if every morning is just this mad panic to feed them for the day, we're gonna get even less done than we're already getting done. Like, I'd ideally like to build up a stockpile of muckroot. Mealwood, somebody grab. There we go. More food in the coffers. There we go. Washroom. Morale bonus +2. Because it's a closed room, it fills all the requirements. And now every time someone uses the bathroom, they're gonna get a +2 morale. I bet there's like 7 muckroot in this little area. Unreachable food. Oh right, the colony has food, we just can't reach it. Where do we have food that we just can't reach? Because my food bar's on 0 and that's a concern. Nothing there, nothing in here, nothing in here. There's food up here, I'm sure of it. Okay. Either way, there is one muckroot that I can clearly see. And Base is currently without accessible food, and that is a big concern to me. Fish are getting nice and old, so we need to actually sort out our access to them as well. A Paku dying of old age is literally just here, have food. 7 critters in this room, 8 critters in this room. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna once again find the oldest one in here. Yeah, the 65-year-old is now gonna be food. Make barbecues out of this one, eat for another day or two, and then go back to reset the clock on our little panic situation here. Guys, drop everything. If one of them eats that meat, we're done for. Like, that's the situation. We're worried about the cattle cannibalizing, and that could doom us all. You know what I'm actually gonna do? And this seems like a spicy move, right? This seems like a really spicy move, but as soon as I've got all of this water into this tank, or even this tank, I could put another of these rooms down here and get rid of these first 4. That's the plan. Should I be really happy or really concerned that they're focusing on the floor first? Like, we have 20 tons of copper, so I'm not worried about not having enough. Nice is this going to level up their building quite nicely for a bit, and hopefully that'll give them their next skill points, which we so desperately need. I need to be able to automate these guys becoming food. Quite simply, I need there to be full ranches of hatches laying eggs. I need anything that is additional to that becoming food. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have a system that just yoinks the eggs and just spits them into a place where we can say, does this egg need a hatch or does it need to be food? And that will all happen automatically. Yeah, so we're going to build an evolution chamber right over here. And we're running low on food again. Oh, here, look at this, look at this. So this one's now empty. It's immediately sent the water over to this one, and it's immediately sending it over. As this continues, it's just gonna keep pushing the water through, and that's amazing. But so far, we can already deconstruct this one. But first, I'd like to make the plumbing allow for that. If I do this, now the water's gonna 50-50 over each way, which is why I wish I hadn't actually done that, but it'll eventually solve itself. The last of the water will get through to here, but that's why we don't really work too far ahead when this other systems rely on this system. Almost done. There we go. Oh, just in time. Why? Okay, well, this will either solve itself or go horribly wrong. Either way, we're good. Oh, you're 80. Yeah, you can be food. Do not, under any circumstances, let them eat that. Nobody is allowed to eat raw meat. We can finally start making another hatchery. So yeah, this is a cool thing with these hatcheries. Normally, you wouldn't want this stuff getting in the way because the critters will get in the way of it. By putting the door here and restricting the hatches into this space, they still think the room is this big, but they only really hang out in this part of it. You can also do it by having like a 1 by 96 tall room. I just wouldn't recommend that thin. But 6 by like 16, absolutely go for it. Well, 14. However many gets it to the max size. And a lot of people do go with vertical designs. I like the horizontal design because this space isn't wasted. We can put storage in here of all sorts of things. In this case, a truckload of water reservoirs. Hey, Camille's lost 2% stress in the last whole day. Oh, I'm so jealous of her. It sounds like nothing, but every millennial watching this is like, 2% of your stress, of all of your stress is gone? What a miracle. I think we just need to survive like a couple more days or farmed food, well, not farmed, scavenged food, build a couple of things a day, slowly build up their skills to eventually get to that point. I think by day 50, we'll actually be up and running, which is weird because normally when I have 10 duplicates, which is my usual target, that's still roughly the same point in the game when I'm actually up and running with this whole strat of getting the locavore achievement by going straight to meat and surviving entirely on farmed meat. I'm not really ahead or behind. Like normally I have a couple more hatches by now because I've dug more of them out of the ground because sometimes these buried objects here are just hatches. But in terms of self-sustainably feeding my guys like this, I am surprisingly on par. So if someone's actually showing the starvation thing, it means their food is dangerously low. 1,000 kilocalories. It's not too bad. She should get fed by the time that happens, but just in case, I'm gonna max priority these things and figure out where Abe is. There we go. He's gonna go and cook. Don't distract the man who's giving you life-saving food, woman. Muckroot, she's got muckroot. Okay, if she starves now, it's entirely her own fault. Oh, but Otto's now hungry. Yeah, we're at that really dicey point. If we get the evolution chamber working, we've survived. We've done it. We've solved hunger for this colony for the very foreseeable future. But we're in this really narrow, dangerous point where that's kind of touch and go. So this is neither refrigerated nor in a sterile environment. Oh, it's in carbon dioxide actually. There's a CO2 bucket down here. That's really weird, but super handy. So yeah, next step is to get the water into the evolution chamber. I think the amount of hatches we have might actually sustain us if I'm very smart about how we do it. So this is emptying out nicely. We need to put 10 loads of water in here, maybe 11. And that'll get the water up to this layer, and then we get to the next step of the evolving chamber. And if I'm right, we're already sort of at that point, but because of the small amount of guys and the timing, it's just not as sustainable. Oh look, you have barbecue. Once we've got that down, we've survived. We have a sustainable base. Right now, we've just survived starvation, and even that's still a little dicey, but I think we're there. But yeah, guys, that's where we are for now. We're going to get some metal going. We're going to finish up this system. We're going to core this out. We're going to finish this system. We're going to put our steel filter in here, and we're going to rearrange some things and start turning this hodgepodge mess of attempting to survive into an actual colony. That is our plan for next time. Ciao.